imagine you've just been invited for your first demo lesson online. How exactly would you show up to ensure that you impress your employer and, of course, get the second call? That is what we're going to be talking about in this video. We will be analyzing your demo lesson, how to do it, and how to stand out. I've seen instances of teachers join a demo lesson underprepared in terms of content and overly prepared in terms of appearance. Um, but also, I've seen the inverse. And if I were to pick one or the other, I would pick no one, because a good demo lesson is actually a good balance of both. Today, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down this in two ways: what you do before the demo lesson and what you do during the demo lesson. Let's start with before the demo lesson. Now, before your demo lesson, you need to pick a skill. Don't fall into that trap of wanting to teach how to respond to questions or exam prep or drills, right? You need to pick a particular skill within your subject area. When you have identified what skill you're teaching, you're interested in teaching, you need to do some research. In researching, you're thinking about how to design the entire learning experience. Watch how other people have taught this same concept over and over, and just basically pick what learning experience do you want to adopt for your own lesson, right? You do your research, you get your resources together. Also ensure that you do not just go and download a resource. It's always good practice to go through the resource, edit what needs to be edited out, ensure that your content is relevant to how you want the child to experience the lesson. Also, when you have your content and your resources ready, the next step is to check your devices. You want to really be sure that your whatever devices you're going to be joining the class with, every single thing works just fine. Your microphone, your video. If it's going to be a Zoom meeting, then you might as well start a Zoom meeting, check your video, check your microphone, ensure that everything is working just fine. There's one extra thing that I would normally do. I would also normally pre-plan the space that I'm going to teach. So it's not just a random, oh, this is my demo lesson day, and then anywhere I find myself. No. And what that means is I make sure that I have pre-planned it. I have checked if the light is bold in that area, and most importantly, there's no noise within that area. Every single thing is pre-planned. There's also a funny one. If you know that in your lesson you want to use stories or you want to use a joke, ensure that those lessons, those stories and jokes are pre-planned, right? It's always not good practice to jump in on a class and then you start thinking of a story or a joke that you want to say. If you didn't pre-plan it, then don't say it. You're not a comedian, you're not a storyteller. Your job is actually to teach, which is quite different from these other roles. And so if it's something you're not able to plan, then it shouldn't come up during your lesson. Let's talk about the actual demo lesson and what you do on that day. For this, I'm going to be looking at three categories. The first one is your appearance. The second one is your lesson breakdown. We would also be looking at your transitions, right? Which is why it was very important for you to get all your resources and content in one place. And then finally, we'll be talking about communication and engagement. Actually, four steps, four aspects to this. Let's talk about appearance. The first way for me to know that you are not prepared for your demo lesson is if you join your demo lesson unprepared. And I'm talking about very simple things, from how your hair looks to how you look, your face, to the kind of attire or outfit you're putting on. Very simple things like this can actually tell me if you are a serious person or not. Okay, and you honestly do not want to start losing points from things that you can easily control. So if you're going to go in for a demo lesson, ensure that you prepare like someone who is attending a corporate interview. It doesn't matter that this interview is online. Ensure that you are fully prepared for the interview in terms of your looks. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the content breakdown. Now, a lot of teachers make this mistake where they have or they come into a lesson with already populated or overly populated slides. And it's not about that. Learning is always about forming understanding together with the child or the person you are about to teach. So it's very important that whatever slides or whatever resource, whatever the resource you're coming with, it is not overly populated. This is not the generation where we copy notes. Okay, and so that whole idea of telling a child to, oh, this is a note to copy for this lesson, it's not there. The whole idea of online learning is active study and exploration. So there's no how you are coming into the demo lesson with a slide already overly populated. What works best? Questions, hints, prompts, ideas that immediately gets your learners to think and captures their attention. Remember that when you're doing a demo lesson, you are also trying to capture the attention of your interviewers. The interviewers in this case are your learners. So I've also seen instances where teachers join the demo lesson and they start to say things like they start to report their lesson in second person, like saying, oh, so this is what I would do. No, that's not what a demo lesson is. A demo lesson is an opportunity for you to actually demo a real classroom situation. So immediately you're told to start, that means that you start to see the interviewers as your students, okay? And so you engage them immediately, capture their attention. And if you struggle to know what breakdown to use, go watch my video on a proper lesson breakdown and how to do that. And then we're going to talk about the steps that you use, right? In a demo lesson, 90% of the time, what the interviewer wants to see is how clear your instructions are, how easy it is to understand what you're saying, the steps that you adopt in teaching a concept. So what makes you different from this other teacher? I could have experienced a lesson on adjective by one teacher and then experience the same lesson by another teacher, but what makes us different is probably how we do the breakdown of the concepts. So again, this takes you back to your planning. During your planning, ensure that you actually are very sure how you are going to break down concepts and drive understanding. Trust me, during demo lesson, what your interviewers are looking for is your ability to actually convey learning, your ability to actually engage a child and get them to actually learn within the short period that you have. And the next thing we're going to be talking about is your transitions. To help you have great transitions, you need to have all your resources on your desktop or your monitor all minimized right before the lesson. You honestly do not want to be looking for resources during the demo lesson. During the demo lesson, nobody should have any business seeing your WhatsApp on your computer. Use that opportunity to, you already have all your resources open, and please do not have so much. Normally I would go with just one or two at most. Have those resources open, and of course easily transition from one resource to another so that you can kill all those time wasters of, oh, can you see my screen, can you not see my screen? Communication and engagement. And this is the part where you want to actually use age appropriate prompts and questions and hints to engage your learners, quote unquote, your interviewers. Ensure that the communication, every single thing that you say is age appropriate. I had a conversation very recently with my colleague, and we were talking about the fact that it is better to engage a learner at a level that is a little bit higher than their level than to understimulate their brain or under engage them. And instances where learners are teachers, join a class and they use irrelevant um, conversations or conversation starters to try to engage their learners. Should not happen. You see if 15-year-old who is in year 11 and you're telling them jokes or things that might not even impress a child in year 2. shouldn't be caught doing that. Okay, and most importantly, keep your demo lesson short and exciting. It doesn't have to have everything. This is not an opportunity for you to show subject knowledge. It's an opportunity for you to show teaching skills and strategies. Okay, do not overcomplicate it. Do not have overly broad skill. You can focus on your skill. Okay, focus on what you want to teach. For your resources, ensure you use relevant resources and use them well. I would normally not say, oh, do not use slides, even though I have a bias for using slides for all lessons. But the truth is, you want to actually ensure that for every lesson, you ask yourself, what is the experience that I'm trying to deliver across? And what resource can help me do that? When you get the resource, do not blindly use the resource in the demo lesson. Ensure that the resource has been highly edited to reflect your thoughts and to reflect how you teach. Okay, and most importantly, do well to create the lesson in front of the child. So the whole idea of, for example, a math class, why do we have worked examples? Children are now watching, or you just display worked examples to your learners. It shouldn't be so, right? In a science class, for example, why do you have all your observations and all your observations already fully noted out, when ideally you were supposed to co-create those observations with your learners? So like I said, use resources that are relevant and ensure that you know how to use those resources well. See you in the next video.